The gasoline shortage that arose in Russia in the summer after a series of drone attacks on major oil refineries continues to worsen and is already affecting the central regions of the country. This was reported by the Reuters agency, citing sources. The crisis that began in August has affected more than 20 regions of Chukotka and Sakhalin to Ryazan and Samara regions, as well as the occupied territories. Small private networks of petrol stations are the first to stop selling fuel, while stations of large oil companies continue to operate, although there are interruptions in the supply of certain types of petrol. Reuters sources point out that one of the reasons for the shortage was the lack of reserves at private gas stations. Due to expensive loans, they did not create reserves and entered the period of increased demand with virtually no fuel. In August, the situation worsened after at least 5 refineries were forced to stop processing due to drone strikes, which led to the loss of about 17% of the industry's capacity. The situation with gasoline is very bad and continues to worsen, says one of the market participants. In September, new attacks affected the Ryazan, Saratov, Ufa Novoil plant and Kinef in the Leningrad region. The latter is forced to operate at 3/4 of capacity after the shutdown of the main processing unit. The largest oil companies regularly shift the dates of gasoline shipments in order to supply their own gas stations. One of the traders complained, "This is my gasoline which I bought and paid for at the exchange from them, and they have not unloaded it for me for a month and a half." According to him, oil companies prefer to pay a 5% fine for non-fulfillment of the contract than to supply gasoline. In Eastern Siberia, some petrol stations have stopped selling certain types of fuel, while others have closed due to a lack of stock or an unwillingness to operate at a loss. There is no point in buying, it is too expensive, and in retail, we get minuses, said a representative of one of the chains. Vladimir and Belgorod regions also faced temporary closures of gas stations. The director decided to suspend the gas station's operation due to a lack of gasoline. The chain gas stations continue to operate, noted an employee of one of the closed stations. Fuel production in Russia fell by about 5% in August. To compensate for the downtime of refineries, oil companies launched undamaged capacities. Last month, about 23% of the refineries' capacities were idle, 6.4 million tons, which was a historical record. The government has ordered oil companies to use reserve stocks, revise plant repair plans, and manually regulate fuel shipments by rail. A ban on gasoline exports has been extended for 2 months to stabilize the market.
A group of soldiers from the occupying Russian army have been ambushed and destroyed in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region. The footage was recorded and shared by a Russian soldier. As seen in the footage circulated on Telegram channels, the occupying soldiers, who were moving on motorcycles, were hit by Ukrainian forces and went up in flames along with their vehicles. Several UAZ brand vehicles were also destroyed.
Вот, ебучий комитет. Ну, бля, пиздец. Вот мины еще, блядь, гора мин лежит. Вот. Вот они прям.
Нас что там, 111 едет, узнай, пожалуйста.
Вот еще двое. Они прям пиздец. Вот тут мы достали Владоса отсюда. Ай, да я ебу, бля.
Мы пошли, что здесь хорошо. Не верят, брат. Вот помогите, оказывайте помощь. Брат, живи, живой. Давай. Все, брат. Он нам не верит. Что здесь все хорошо. Техника. Убегали. Только что. И мотоцикл, и машину.
Группа 2 майор, вот техника наша. Питеры сожгли нашу. Вот Ниву, которую мне давали, горела. И сейчас свой патриот покажу. Тоже сожгли. Где он? Дальше. А нет. Вон он стоял, только что.
Putin's army was actively fighting in the area of Varachino, Andriivka, and Yunakovka. At the same time, Ukrainian forces counterattacked in the area of Andriivka, Alexeyevka, and Novokonstantinovka. Analysts from the Institute for the Study of War have voiced the situation in Sumy region. A Russian military correspondent associated with the northern group of Russian forces said that the Russian military command has significantly strengthened the 83rd Airborne Brigade in the Varachinsk direction, but the servicemen are unhappy because they suspect that their military command will soon give them the order to attack. According to him, the units of the Chechen Special Forces Akhmat continue to operate in the Novonikolayevka area, but have consolidated their positions and are not attacking. However, according to rumors, the 22nd Motorized Rifle Regiment is reporting that the units of the Chechen Special Forces Akhmat have left their positions in the Novonikolayevka area. Drone operators of the 217th Airborne Regiment of the Russian Armed Forces and the 106th Airborne Division continue to strike Ukrainian positions along the Kursk-Sumy regional border, and drone operators of the Anvar Special Forces Unit and the Smugyanka Unit strike Ukrainian positions in the Sumy direction. Earlier, media reported that in Donetsk, the Ukrainian armed forces attacked the command posts of the 41st Army of the Russian Federation and the 20th Motorized Rifle Division. Thus, the Dnipro-Osint Channel reports that the command post of the 41st Combined Arms Army of the Russian Armed Forces was located on the territory of the Topaz plant, and the command post of the 20th Motorized Rifle Division was located on the territory of the Donetsk Metallurgic plant. Ukrainian journalist Andrei Saplienko stated that the current commander of the 41st Army, Sergei Ryzkov, personally took part in planning the invasion of Putin's army into Ukraine in February 2022. He also noted that the attacks on enemy command posts in Donetsk were carried out by Ukrainian-made missiles. The territory of the Topaz plant was already attacked by the Ukrainian armed forces in 2023 and 2024. At one time, the plant produced complex radio-technical systems, including radio-technical reconnaissance and early warning systems for air defense, among which was the Kolchuga station. Since 2014, the enterprise has been transferred to the Iskra company plant,